Now at 5, 2 more suspects are arrested, and this time murder charges are filed in the Kansas City Victory Rally shooting. Plus, police in Parsons, Kansas meet with a local Congress member to discuss the challenges facing law enforcement. And
President Biden says more sanctions against Russia are coming over Alexei Navalny's death. I'm Skyler Henry at the White House as the administration looks to hold Russia accountable for its actions over the last 2 years, including its war with Ukraine.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
2 more suspects are charged in connection with the Kansas City Victory Rally shooting. This time it's adults charged with murder. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Authorities say that 2 men have been hospitalized since the shooting that killed 1 woman and injured 22 others. But investigators did not say whether the men had gunshot wounds or other injuries. The 2 suspects are Lyndall Mays of Raytown and Dominic M. Miller of Kansas City. They each face a second-degree murder charge, among other charges. This is in addition to juveniles arrested on gun-related and resisting arrest charges. Authorities say more charges are possible. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Well, it's turned out to be a beautiful Tuesday for us today. We had a nice start to the week yesterday, temperatures upper 50s, and then today we've gone into the upper 60s. Look at this, 65 Stockton, 67 in Neosho. If you head down to Grand Lake, sitting into lower 70s. Parsons is at 70s. Neodesha is sitting at 71. We have a nice little southerly wind, which is really helping those temperatures warm up. And we've had some gusts a little bit higher than this. So we've had south winds kind of 15 to 20, and then some gusts kind of pushing near 20 miles per hour. It's going to stay kind of breezy as we go through the overnight hours tonight. But a great evening if you want to get outside, sliding back through the 60s into the 50s. We have pretty much clear skies, but we do have some thunderstorms in the forecast. We'll look at that here in just a bit.
See you soon. Students at Liberal High School in Missouri got a chance to get behind the wheel and simulate impaired driving. The Arrive Alive tour made a stop in Liberal to show students firsthand how difficult it is to drive while impaired. This is the first time the tour stopped at Liberal High School. The school's counselor says it's the perfect learning opportunity.
And they all have the mentality of it's not going to happen to me, or I can do that. I'm a really good driver. I can be on my phone and I won't have any consequences. It'll be great.
Like, I hit a house super easily and it was weird. I couldn't really control at all what I was doing.
The simulation is funded through grants with no cost to the school. Parsons, Kansas Police Department today held a discussion on the challenges facing local law enforcement. They were joined by Congressman Jake LaTurner. Parsons Police Chief Robert Spinks also gave LaTurner a tour of the site of a proposed public safety center. City officials hope LaTurner can help them secure partial funding to build the cutting-edge facility.
Law enforcement is stepping up to the plate. This center will be helpful with recruitment for new officers, new folks going into the fire department as well. And so I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to learn more. I'm glad to be a part of it.
The proposed public safety center would create a centralized location for both Parsons Police and fire departments. Russia might soon pay an economic toll for the death of opposition leader Alexei Navalny. The battle over more aid for Ukraine is being played out on both Capitol Hill and on the campaign trail. Skyler Henry has details now from the White House.
The Biden administration says it's preparing new actions against Russia following the death of opposition leader Alexei Navalny in a Russian prison.
I told you we'd be announcing sanctions on Russia. We'll have a major package announced on Friday.
The sanctions are also tied to Russia's war against Ukraine, and the tide is now turning in Russia's favor as Ukrainian troops had to retreat from a city in the eastern part of the country. The Biden administration says they were forced to withdraw because Ukraine is running low on ammunition. Biden has called on lawmakers to pass billions of dollars in aid for Ukraine, but the effort has stalled out in Congress. The House left for a 2-week recess without taking up the bill to support Ukraine. Former President Trump's allies in the House have pushed back hard against any aid for Ukraine, though House Speaker Mike Johnson has insisted Congress won't abandon Ukraine. He met with the former president at his Florida home Monday.
Congress is too divided and broken to do its job.
Meanwhile, Nikki Haley has zeroed in on Trump's national security issues as she tries to gain traction in the two-person race for the GOP presidential nomination.
He's all but said he's going to abandon Ukraine. That's a massive gift to Vladimir Putin.
Haley is far behind Trump in the polls, just days before the GOP primary in her home state of South Carolina. But she insists she is staying in the race no matter what happens Saturday. Meanwhile, Trump is holding a town hall and a fundraiser in Greenville, South Carolina today. Skyler Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Trump's already begun campaigning in Michigan as well, the next state on the GOP primary calendar. Haley says she's heading to Michigan on Sunday. House leaders have launched a bipartisan task force on artificial intelligence. In a joint statement, Speaker Mike Johnson and Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries said the committee will explore how Congress can ensure Americans continue to lead the world in AI innovation. The group will also consider safeguards to protect the nation from current and emerging threats. The Democrats and Republicans have each appointed 12 members to the task force. Still ahead, what you should know about a prolonged cough.
It's the season where so many are coughing from colds, flu, and COVID. I'm Bradley Blackburn with how long that cough can linger, and it's longer than you would think.
Plus, why too much protein in your diet could be bad for your heart. Those stories next in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, eating too much protein could be bad for your arteries. That's according to a new study from the University of Pittsburgh. Researchers found getting more than 22% of calories from protein can lead to increased activation of immune cells that play a role in plaque formation. It's estimated about a quarter of the population receives more than 22% of all daily calories from protein. Women might benefit more from exercising than men. A new study supported by the National Institutes of Health found women who worked out regularly lowered their premature death risk by 24%, while men who did the same had a 15% lower risk. The difference was even greater when it came to fatal heart attacks. The study authors suggest variations in anatomy and physiology might account for the differences. It's cold, flu, and COVID season. If you feel like you've been coughing for weeks, well, you're not alone. Now a new report looks at just how long it's typical for that hacking to stick around and what you can do about it. Reporter Bradley Blackburn has more.
Navi Gill had a bad cold in September, but the one symptom that lingered was her cough.
It was debilitating. It would keep me up at night, and I was coughing throughout work and had to keep explaining to people that I wasn't sick.
To get some relief, she tried cough medicine.
It didn't really do anything. It still lasted about 6 weeks, despite me trying all these, medications.
A new article in CMAJ says coughing after respiratory infections is common. That post-viral cough can last anywhere from 3 to 8 weeks. And in most cases, patience is the best treatment.
We look at evidence all the way from asthma puffers to some of that over-the-counter medications to codeine. And it really shows none of these work effectively. And in the trials that have run, most patients with post-infectious cough have their cough resolved on their own without any treatments at all.
Family physician Dr. Kevin Leong at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver says those treatments can also have nasty side effects and be expensive.
Up to a quarter of adults can experience that cough that sticks around after a respiratory infection. But if it goes on longer than 8 weeks, see a doctor.
Fever, difficulty breathing, difficulty swallowing, or even voice changes. So if you're at all worried, it's not a bad idea to check in with your doctor just to see if it could be something else that's causing the cough.
I've always thought it was normal to have a cough after a cold, but I didn't think it was normal for it to last that long.
Navi says next time she'll keep in mind it's just a matter of time. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
If you have a history of recurrent pneumonia or an extended history of smoking, it's also a good idea to get a lingering cough checked out. That is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, we're going to meet a set of twins who are both Joplin Elementary teachers, making their students and peers see double.
Plus, the mild temperatures stick around, but some thunderstorm chances. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, it turned out to be a great Tuesday for us today. Quite a bit warmer. Temperatures shot into the upper 60s during the afternoon, which, hey, we'll definitely take. It looks great out there right now. Nice shot of indigo sky, casino and resort just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Pretty much clear skies. But look at the trend over the past 36 hours. Yesterday was pretty good. We got back into the upper 50s after a pretty cold weekend. And then today into the upper 60s across the area, and that's still pretty much where we are sitting. 72 Bonita, Chatopa at 70, 66 in Pittsburgh. We have 65 in Monette, much of the same in Stockton. Let's go outside. 7th and Rangeline, 67. South winds 5 to 10 to 15 gust of wind, a little bit higher than that. So it's been a little breezy. It's going to stay a little breezy tonight and into the next couple days. These southerly winds at about 5 to 15, but we're going to have a gust kind of pushing 25-ish tomorrow afternoon, so a little windier. And then the winds switch around out of the north on Thursday, but still kind of breezy with gusts kind of in that 15 to 20 to 25 mile per hour range. If you're getting out this evening, it looks good. We drop back through the 60s, 50s, not as cold for us tonight. We have the clear skies. We'll stick with the clear skies at least the next several hours, and then we'll start to get some clouds increasing for us as we go into the daytime hours tomorrow as this storm system starts to advance in. So really covering the western third of the country. Pretty strong wave, but it flattens out as it moves into the central plains, but it will give us a chance to get some scattered showers and thunderstorms in here by the time we get into tomorrow night. All right, let's go through time. Clouds thicken, 6:30 in the morning, mid 40s, not as cold. As we go through the morning hours, mostly cloudy skies, but we still warm up nicely. Mid to upper 60s by noon, and I think most of us go into the 70s, near 70 in our northern counties, well into the 70s in our southern counties. Tomorrow night, here comes that wave. Scattered thunderstorms start to pop up. So you can see in our western counties, here's 11:30 p.m. So kind of overnight, but some of these could be strong. We may even get some low-grade severe thunderstorms. So we need to watch that tomorrow night, pushing through the region. They are going to be scattered. Not everybody's going to get the rain. Here's 1:30 in the morning on Thursday, scattered thunderstorms. Still some showers left over. Here's 3 o'clock in the morning, and then just a few sprinkles by the time you wake up Thursday morning. Thursday, we get the northerly winds, a little bit cooler, but still nice as we roar into the 60s for highs. 50 in the morning, 65 by noon, 72 by 4. It is going to be breezy, high temp of 74 degrees. Let's continue down the road. Friday looks pretty good, lower 60s, which is above normal for this time of the year. We get back into the 60s on Saturday, and then on Sunday, we start to warm up a little bit more. So we have a really nice stretch of mild temperatures, kind of up and down, but pretty good temperatures. 74 tomorrow, thunderstorms tomorrow night, scattered. 64 cooler Thursday, but still great. 62 on Friday, and then back to 71 by Sunday. So if you check out this weekend, the last weekend of February, 64 and 71, that's pretty nice.
Yeah, weather to get outside, if you ask me.
Not bad.
Thanks, Doug. Hey, Reagan and Madison Fowler are elementary school teachers in the Joplin School District. Not only are the two sisters, but they're also twins. Despite not actually being identical, the resemblance is uncanny. The two are Missouri Southern graduates. They took all the same classes, and they say they've switched places back in high school to prank their teachers.
I have always said we were made to be a team, so we work better together. I mean, so our entire lives people would say, split the twins up, be more independent. I mean, even our own sisters, and we love them dearly, but they would say, the twins are ganging up on us.
But that isn't to say we aren't this way with our other two sisters too. The things that make us different, and I think you can agree with me, Reagan, is that we experience everything that every other person experiences individually. We experience that together.
Reagan now teaches kindergarten at Royal Heights Elementary. Madison teaches second grade at Jefferson Elementary. We're going to hear more from both of them tonight at 6. Coming up, how termite tunnels are giving architects new ideas on energy efficiency. Topping today's Consumer Watch, Capital One is acquiring Discover Financial Services in a deal that would create the country's 6th largest bank. The $35 billion all-stock deal would give Capital One shareholders 60% of the merged company, while Discover shareholders would get the other 40%. Once finalized, the acquisition is expected to face tough antitrust scrutiny from federal officials. Walmart is buying TV maker Vizio for $2.3 billion. The move is aimed at shoring up its advertising business and creating a more potent rival to Amazon. Walmart believes it can use Vizio to sell ads for products on Vizio's popular smart TVs. The retail giant's media and advertising arm, called Walmart Connect, grew 30% last year. Termites are known as troublemakers in the home, but researchers in Sweden say the pesky insects have inspired a climate solution to make buildings more energy efficient. Ian Lee reports.
Termites are a nightmare for any homeowner. Some can destroy properties in as little as a year. But Swedish scientists say the tiny insects can teach us a thing or two about sustainable architecture.
Termites are absolutely incredible at constructing. They work with very limited resources and they work with materials that are entirely sourced from their environment.
Architect David Andreen sees the bugs as ecosystem engineers, building termite tunnels in a way that regulates the air flowing through them to create natural climate control.
Well, one of the fascinating things that the termite mound does is that it maintains a humid internal climate, even though it sits almost in the desert in a very arid environment.
Andreen collected samples from massive termite mounds around the world to produce a 3D design using the same materials, from wood, grass and mud to even fungus.
So this is the Meristem wall, and it's a project or a prototype we created as a response to the termite research, and thinking about how this might act as a facade in an urban environment of a building.
The end result creates unique, eco-friendly and energy-efficient designs by building big ideas from some of nature's smallest critters. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
There are thought to be nearly 2,800 types of termites worldwide, and they can be found in every U.S. state except for Alaska. A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, despite efforts to cap insulin prices, a lot of patients are struggling. How one family figured out a short-term solution. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to check out the new training simulator at the Parsons Police Department. Plus, more on the twin teachers in Joplin who have their students seeing double. And McDonald County High School hosts a special send-off as the wrestling team heads to state. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Young sports reporter from Las Vegas is making waves with his work and picking up some fans of his own. 11-year-old Jeremiah Fennell has already scored interviews with big names, including Vice President Harris, Brock Purdy, Michael Phelps. Earlier this month, he spoke with that guy, Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce, ahead of the team's Super Bowl win. On CBS Mornings, the fifth grader discussed how being born with brain abnormalities and a love of sports helped shape his path.
I played sports, but I couldn't play contact sports. So I could play like tennis, but I couldn't play football.
Yeah.
So I did play flag football, which doesn't count. I played basketball.
It doesn't count. Yes, it counts.
I played basketball, and I played t-ball. So I
Okay.
played those. But then after I played those, the doctor said, even though we said he can't play contact sports, he just shouldn't play sports.
Sports
period.
at all.
So yeah, after that, I decided to go into journalism and said, the people that I.
Fennell is just getting started. He says he hopes to interview Tom Brady and LeBron James in the future. And I imagine if they hear about this young man, they'll want to be interviewed by him.
Well, I saw all of his interviews that he did on the opening of Super Bowl night, and he is a very well-spoken young man, and only being in fifth grade, which is crazy.
It's obvious from that clip.
Yeah.
The weather looking nice.
Yeah, it looks pretty good for us tonight. We drop back into the 40s. 74 tomorrow. It's going to be windy, and then some scattered thunderstorms tomorrow night.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.